Finally, finally, I did something and it broke, and then I did something else and it got well. So I don't know what the heck. I've got power from a transformer, big old 15B, coming into a rectifier, converting the AC to DC, DC into a voltage regulator that is set at 5 volts. I might have been able to do that otherwise, but I didn't. But in any case, so 5 volts coming into this strip down this side. I'll use my little pointer. It's not a good thing to use metal, but anyway, 5 volts is going down here. So you got the positive on this side. There we are, the positive on this side, the negative on this side, and that goes places. Okay. So negative is like a ground, and then positive is like a hot, okay? So you've got some positive and ground going into the card, and some other additional grounds, and then you got some signals that you want to move from one board to another. This board needs power, so he's taking the same power. So now you've got the tone coming out of here and going, this is an amplifier, and this is a signal processor, memories kind of a thing. And then over here are what they call triggers. When this number 2, so to speak, is grounded, it tells the soundboard to play a sound. And then over here is the output of the amplifier, and I've just got it jumped over to some 4 ohm speaker I just have laying around. And I just now put in a button. Amazing. The button simply goes to ground and to one of my triggers over here. So if I push the button, then you'll see what happens. 1, you see the red light come on, and 2, you hear a sound coming out. Now, this was a steam whistle. It's just one I got free online. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm just testing. So the idea was that button is not on the engine, but that button is on a remote, and when you push this button, the sound happens. Well, the interface board that comes with the button from the same company is not compatible with these triggers. These triggers take a different kind of signal than this board puts out, and then you need a chip of some kind that does some kind of an inversion. It turned out to be a mess for me because well, as you can see, this is not a small thing. Now I do have the chuff sound, and I do have some other I can have lots of sounds in here, okay? So I'm going to take the power off so it rests. But remember, this is my environment over here, these trains. So I have to put stuff into packages. Right now I'm looking at 2 of these volt regulators, one for the smoke and one for the sound. Then this is your directional control. This is a digital forward and reverse. And then up in here it was going to be a soundboard. Now I had engineered another one earlier that didn't turn out too well, as you can see from all the glue, where I would put the 2 soundboards here. I was going to put this guy over here, and then that little soundboard here, and then the speaker was going to tuck in behind here. Well, come to find out, this doesn't work. It takes another chip, and then that chip has to take space. And then when you start looking at the tender and how much room do we have, you start to realize that we're going to run out of room here real quick. So I'm going to try to come up with something more compatible and more compact if I can. I really want to use something like this, but I can't afford to give up that much real estate. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Yeah, in a big northern, you have a lot of room, but in some of these, like this Atlantic, this is it. This is all you got. And that's not a lot of cubic millimeters if you look at it, and you start to stuff, you know, these things in. That's one of my bigger boards. But, you know, you start putting a couple of soundboards in here and a speaker, it gets crowded in a hurry. So, yeah. Anyway, I lost a couple of hours screwing with this thing just to make sure I didn't blow it up. I pretty well thought I had. I mean, this is actually pretty exciting. It's terrible, right? We have real steam sounds. I will get some on here, and that will be a real steam whistle. The other thing I can put on here is, without the remote, actually, and this may be the first thing I do, is put on a nice, strong chuff sound. If I do that, then, oh, you know, maybe I can just move this and show you my nice, strong chuff sound. Oh, maybe I can't, because you know why? I soldered that, and it may not work. Well, let me see. If I move that over, no, it's not happy about it. Maybe I could just kind of trick it. Well, you hear a little, barely hear the chuff. It's there. It's not the best chuff. I need a bigger, stronger chuff. But I could put the chuff on here, and that trigger is simply one of my magnetic reed switches, which, hold the phone, I had, oh, I can't believe it. I had them, oh, here they are. Whew. I ordered these magnets, and I didn't understand the order. Don't tell Margaret. But I ordered these magnets, and they're like really tiny, and they fit on the engine. And then there's a reed switch, which is a little small thing. And when the reed goes by, it sends a pulse. And I can put those on the flywheel of the engine so that every time it goes around, we hear a chuff sound. I don't need a button or a remote control or any of that. So I can have chuff sound right here with this setup. And it's on, the engine drives it every time the wheel spins and the magnet goes by. The funny thing for me here was these magnets are, they were like $1.14, but I didn't realize what, so I ordered 20, but they were $1.14 for 10. So I ordered 200, and so now I have them. I will never run out of magnets again, which is a good thing, I guess, but boy, do I have magnets. Any rate, so I can do this chuff tomorrow. I can put a chuff trigger on here, and the board, and the speaker, and the amplifier, and it'll run on these engines. And that may be all I do for the beginning, and then later I work through this issue of how to get this to work so I can sit here and do and bell, whistle, and a station announcement, which is different. Okay. In fact, if I did the chuff this way, I may put this whole, package this whole thing, shrink wrap it, and put it in the body of the engine, up in the boiler. There's a thought. All right. Well, I'll leave you with nothing. Oh, I moved the button. I moved the wire. Yeah, okay, now. Don't scare me like that. All right, we're pulling out. Later, gang.